Okay. We are on. This is going to be a very quick podcast. Thank you for joining. This is episode 9 of Mirror Work Conversations with Lady O. Thank you so much for joining. We are going to be focusing today. I'm just going to jump right in because there's something that came to my attention and I have to let as many people know as possible. So, the next couple podcasts are going to be dedicated to giving you information as to what's going on within our school board kerfuffle and mess that is. Um, my last video explained and my decision to run for trustee, TDSB trustee for Ward 17 Scarborough Center. And we're going to be continuing the topic on not just Scarborough Center, the TDSB in general, and the mirror work is where we really need to take accountability for how things have gone so far and where it's going to go. It's all going to come down to us. Yes, it's good and fine to point fingers and to blame ideologies and blame people who are having their agendas. Yes, and yes. And our participation fosters that. Lack of participation to push back, or participation in just putting our heads down, participation in being in denial, participation in saying it's not my problem. And that's where the mirror work comes in. The statement of it's not my problem, it's not in my backyard. Many have pulled out of the public schools, so they're like, it's not my problem because they're private school, they're pods, or they're homeschooling. And it's the statement of that's not my problem because my child is XYZ over here. And the mirror work that I'm requesting, that is a requirement of all Scarborough residents, Agincourt, and all other ridings. The mirror work is to ask yourself, how has that benefit us? That mindset of it's not my problem. How has that mindset truly benefited you? The me, myself, and I'm just going to worry about mine. Interconnectedness is part of the human experience. There's no escaping it. Unless your child and you are going to live in a bubble, I don't care if you're in a gated community or not. People travel, people move, and energies are going to find you in your bubble. Isn't it in the best interest that we do care about the surrounding so that no matter where your child or your grandchild venture, they are encountering dignity, respect, empathy? When we pull out and said, oh, it's not my problem, private school, Christian schools, pods, homeschooling, it's a false idea that your child is going to be in this bubble for life. It's a false idea that they're not going to step out into the world and mix with others who did not do private school, who did not do pod, who did not do homeschooling, who did not do religious schooling. They're going to be mixing with everyone. It is in our best interest that even those who have the ability or make the decision to pull out, you have the ability to vote regardless, and I say regardless of the statement, it's rigged and all of that. I am going to participate and know that I did my part, irrespective of it's rigged. Don't care, because this is my mindset. If it's rigged, then it doesn't matter if I vote, right? It matters if I don't show up, because we saw that on a provincial level, the low turnout rate. When you say it doesn't matter, it does matter. And if it doesn't matter, then what's the harm? Oh, it's wasting my time. Really? There's so many things that we've done with our time where going to the polling station is a drop in the bucket. Regardless if, as I said, the argument is that it's rigged or not, for sure you're going to get an outcome when you don't participate. For sure. That is a 100% guarantee. There's speculations on the voting system. It's a speculation. What is not a speculation, and it's a guarantee, there's no speculation that if you don't vote, that the choices or the outcome is going to be determined by you not participating. The speculation is that it's rigged. The guarantee is that if you don't participate, for sure, the candidate that would be the best suiting, that aligns, that's passionate, is going to be fighting for your children, for sure, that candidate did not get your support. Many that I'm knocking on doors and meeting face to face, they're like, oh my God, your breath of fresh air. I'm so happy I know that your name is the one on the ballot. Because I'm not doing the sounding bites. I'm not doing the talking points or rinse and repeat that all the candidates are. I see the candidate list and I see a candidate that is a very NDP supporter. And that NDP supporter party is the one that brought in Bill 67, that if it wasn't for guardians and parents to kill that bill, it would have been alive and well right now, and children and teachers would be fined. And that was from an NDP candidate at Queen's Park. So when I see proud support of NDP in the big orange, and if it doesn't take hard to Google and you put the person's name and NDP next to it, strong support. And anybody that talks about nonpartisan, it's BS. Everybody that's running municipally, they're pushing their party's platform, they're pushing their ideologies, especially when they're very unapologetic of using the colors. So you right away, I didn't have to hide. I told you, you've seen it, and it's on my site. I'm a conservative mother. My views are what you guys call conservative. I call it morality. I call it integral. Many will say it's biblical principles. It comes back to having dignity and respect for all. It comes down to standing against immorality. It's against the shame and the blaming of this victimhood. It's against using our children environment as a way to inject into them this sexual energy of making things normal that is not at all part of what was normally part of that person's life. The person had to artificially implant and make changes, and then now tell and legislate and bring it into the environment of the children that this is normal. And I speak with no fear of the most recent post to bring that to our attention, of a teacher, Ontario teacher, with these 2 prosthetic implants that he constitutes as a female breast. Again, normal. We talk about extravagant. We talk about the extreme. They definitely go to the extreme. Even the appearance, that is not normal. Children are not normally walking around the streets of their community or traveling and seeing the image of a woman looking like that. That's not normal. It is not. And for the woman that has naturally been born a woman, and that is how her body evolved, and she and her woman parts naturally over time and her daily activities and lifestyle choices and whatever she did in her diet, her lifestyle has made her breast naturally look like that. It was nothing, there's nothing artificial she did. Even in that argument that this is a woman that's natural, it is still not normal. And when I mean not normal, that's not the normal image that you see walking around. So even for a woman who this is naturally for, and nothing artificial she did, this is not, we would still say, oh my gosh, that is not a normal image that you see day to day. And a woman like that might even seek to get surgery done to reduce, to do breast reduction. Many women who are double D's and they're doing breast reduction because it's killing on their back. And this is normal for them. And they're like, you know what? It's not healthy for me or my skeletal structure. I am going to do a breast reduction. So what we saw with this image of this man who has gone and artificially changed and put these enormous extension prosthetic and calling it a breast, and it's all over social media, it's all, and then he is in the environment of our children as a woodworking teacher. I'm even looking at the video of one of the children that took it, and I'm looking at that as being a hazard. You're around a cutting machine, an electric cutting machine with all of this prosthetic stuff there on this machine that's cutting wood. Like, I'm even looking at that as like the safety, the mindset safety of that. Like, it's there's so much that could go wrong that eventually will, when we keep pushing and allowing special interest groups to hijack, and their voice is the one that's louder, and we do not do our mirror work. We put our head in the sand, or we just say, oh my God, I'm so happy I don't have children anymore. I'm so happy my children are in the 20s, or this is why I'm doing homeschool, or this is what, and we plug out as if it's those people's children's problem that this is their environment. We keep forgetting that mindset is going to come back and haunt your child, and it's going to haunt you, because what is being developed in these children that are left to slaughter, and I say it's like they're being left in this environment because their parents cannot pull them out. Their parents can't do the pods. The parents can't move to a rural place. The parents can't do homeschooling as a result of society's pressures of saying you need to have this amount of income to live here, or for those that are trying to get out of the system literally penalizes you if you want to get up and out. The support system that we should have socially to assist single mothers and single fathers in getting on their feet. Someone made an analogy that if a single mother works one more hour, she's only making 20 cents from that dollar. So an extra hour of work where she's supposed to want more money, she's only getting 20 cents from it. I believe somebody had mentioned that. My point is, we're not assisting. So for the children that are left in the public school system, they're interconnected with your children. They're going to be. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're gonna cross paths in business somewhere, in leisure somewhere, on a plane, train. I don't care if you're training your child to be an entrepreneur. They're gonna need customers, and customers are gonna have a certain mindset. We ought to care about the environment of all children, even if we choose to plug out of the derailment of this train wreck that's happening. We should still do our part to assist the training, staying on the tracks, because it is going on a head-on collision and your child is still going to be affected by this head-on collision. Trust and believe. The ripple effect, the calamity effect of when a train or a bomb goes off, the radius, the innocent around still get harm, eh? Many train wrecks harm a lot of bystanders and a lot of people, businesses in the area. Bombs go off and it just doesn't impact the point of impact. It's impacting the surrounding because of the effect, the ripple effect of that energy spreads. So it is in our best interest that we care. And all that's being asked is for you to get up and go and vote. If you are in Ward 17, there's advanced polls between October 7th and 14th. McGregor Community Center, Ellesmere Community Center. Go and cast your votes and then go along for the rest of your day what you're planning to do. Let your voice be heard. Vote for me, Opa Hope Day, on advanced voting, October 7th to 14th. And on voting day, if you're not able to do the advance, I strongly suggest that you do the advance, because then you have an entire week for you to be able to show up. Leaving it for that one day, the 24th, is going to be stressful. Go to my site, opahopeday.ca, and you'll get the information there, the locations, the voting locations that has been projected, where they're going to be at. And also you get to know me, you get to feel my passion, you get to see my heart. I know I would be the best trustee for your children, for Scarborough Center. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. And for teachers, I am the best advocate for you. For those that want nothing to deal with all these social ideologies, and you want a trustee that has your back, where funds are properly relocated, especially for special ed programming. In one of my walks yesterday in the area, I came across many teachers that are in Scarborough Center. And when I told them what my position were, they were like, oh my gosh, you're a breath of fresh air. And they're telling me the other issues that's going on, where money and funding should be. I am your trustee. For those teachers that want to go on the bandwagon and want to stay on the train that's being derailed and our children's environment being intentionally attacked, you might not like me, because I am not going to go along to get along with these ideologies. I'm not. I am for investing and going back to the core subjects, investing and going back into the curriculum that our children need to be marketplace ready. And those that want to be entrepreneur, my commitment is to start mentoring them from grade 10. So by the time they're grade 12, they're ready to get out there and launch their business. Their business, like the first semester of grade 12 is them registering their business and the wheels are going. And they have their mentor that is alongside them. So by the time graduation comes, it's not they're starting, they're just going to continue the momentum. They're going to be ahead of the income gathering, the income producing. If they choose to want to do post-secondary, they could pay for it. They don't have to go into debt. Or they can just hire those that went through post-secondary as the employees. That's what Bill Gates and many of them did. They dropped out. And all of the geniuses and all of these that are going to they're working for the ones that are dropped out. we have a lot of children who are graduating ready. They're ready to make money. And I know that because I have children of my own that from since age 11, age 10, as far as I think as for age, I would say age 8, age 9, come to think of it. Because I was saying age 11 is when my first son was already making his own money, entrepreneur. His mind was just amazing. But I'm thinking about it, no, it was way before 11 because all hell broke loose in our family when he was age 10. So this would have been 2 years prior. So around age 8, he was already entrepreneuring. He was already doing things that was income producing. And I was like, what? So I'm like, okay, let me support you. He self-taught himself the saxophone and he started to play and he created his own gigs and he was getting paid. And I was listening. I'm like, he's really good. I was like, oh my God. So I'm like, okay, let me get you a saxophone tutor to, to sharpen you up and let's get some saxophone resources. Then he went into artistry and he was drawing. I remember we had gotten him this Costco set with the stencils and he was using the stencils and creating beautiful art and coloring them and then he'll go around the neighborhood that we were in and he was selling the artwork and people were buying his artwork. Want to support a young man that's just entrepreneurial. They're like, wow. And also his artwork was pretty good. It was, and he would make a certain amount and he would go out and he would not come back until he sell every art. And this was age 8. He was like, when he have an idea, he's like, he runs with it. And I'm like, okay, I'm right there. Got your back. Further on in life, he wanted, I've heard about drop shipping and all that. And I was on YouTube looking for something for myself. And I saw this commercial for drop shipping. I'm thinking, hold on, I think he mentioned that. So I paused what I was doing and I'm listening to this infomercial and stuff. And I'm like, I think, and he wasn't around at that time, or he came later on in the day. And I was like, okay, I saw this commercial, I saw this ad, and I showed it to him. And I'm always my children's number one cheerleader. All my children, those who are artists. My second son, he was doing a lot of sketching and stick figures, and his artwork was impeccable. Not because I went to Wexford School of Arts myself, and that is why when I heard about the cancellation of the specialty program, I was like, what? So not because I'm an artist, I'm like, oh my God, my son, but no, as a result of being an artist, I'm telling you, his detailing was like, oh, I was like, what? Where did you? I'm like, oh yeah, DNA. But anyhow, so I was like, okay, so we went to the store and I got scrapbooks and lead pencils and mechanical pencils. And I was like, I got him to, like, I'm just like, okay, when I see my children or just naturally, I'm like, okay, mom's here. What, like, let me know, how can I assist? And I support them. And I'm like, okay. And he was doing books. Like he would just sit in his room and then he would start sketching and putting stories behind it. So he's making his own little comic book with his characters and the stories are amazing. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, we need to publish this. I'm like, trust me, you talk about Diaries of a Wimpy Kid, man, my son's stuff was, so I'm like, okay, so I'm supporting all of my children in anything that they're doing. I remember my daughter, photography. I'm like, okay, I put her in Henry's. Henry's had a photography class, bought her the camera and everything. I'm like, because she's artistic that way. Like it doesn't, like anytime I see my children just naturally going towards something, I'm like, okay, that is what we need to be as adults in the school system for all children. Stop trying to cookie cut them and put them on this matrix wheel of being somebody's employee. Many of them are genius and they're just let them go. Like they say, freedom, find out what they're brilliant in. I'm like, okay, see what they naturally move towards. Just leave them alone, get out of their way and just see, like, yes, have all, that's why I say bring all the core subjects, because you don't know which one a child is going to gravitate to. And we need to invest in the core subjects, all of the core subjects, the arts. And when I say the arts, visual, the drama, right? And then drama is acting and music, all these instruments, and art itself is so, listen, I think that's why I believe art should be compulsory all the way through until grade 10, honestly. Even those that are going to go into the entrepreneurial stream that I'm promised, they still need some art because it helps them to express public speaking, speaking to people, interacting with people. I don't care how much this social media stuff is, we still need to know how to interact with each other. The empathy. A musical instrument assists in the brain, the connection of the brain and the analytical and the creativity, and it's like certain vibes and chords inspiring. They might now, out of that, might just have a certain type of music that they realize their creative juices flow from. And they're like, oh my God, I get some amazing business ideas, or I get inspired when I hear this music. And they would never know because they would never expose two music genres. Learning another musical instrument as well also assists in the mental development. It's just like the arts is not, it's so underrated. And as I said, I went to an art school, and trust me, it's applicable to every part of life. It's so applicable. Even the objectivity of an artwork or a presentation, or when you, if you're doing drama, how are you portraying the character, and what is it that you're, what is the perception that you're wanting? What, it is so amazing, arts in all different forms. Athletics. Every child needs to be on a, need to experience athletics in a team setting. Too much I. They could be gifted in tennis. I have one of my last children, my last son, he is loves tennis, and I still expose him to soccer, team sports, basketball, like still be, because being a team, we again interconnected, we are humans, we interact with each other, we have to know to work with each other, support each other, cheer each other on, feel the other person's pain. Like, oh my God, like I know what that felt like when you're almost there and then, you know, God forbid you get an injury or you kick the ball, it went the wrong way, and the pressure, and also dealing with pressure. Like oh my God. Athletes and being in anything that is athletic trains you for so much other things that is waiting for our children in the real world. Arts, athletics, then the core subjects, the other core subjects, a language, any other language. Wow, we're interconnected. And even for those that are grade 10 going into the entrepreneur avenue, which every grade 12 student that graduates, from my writing that parents and guardians have entrusted me with, every grade 12 student is going to graduate totally with the ability to launch your own business. Identifying something. Yes, we're going to me, entrepreneur is plan A and post-secondary is plan B. Now, if we identify that you're just like, no, I want to go straight into medicine, or I want to go straight into law because I want to do business law, international law, so I can assist those entrepreneurs, because this is how we all work together. We need people in every area to support each other in other areas. And that person should still be able, if push come to shove, know what it takes to launch a business, run a business. So if that venture doesn't work out in post-secondary or college, they know they have something to fall back on, which is, I have entrepreneurial skills. I was taught it from grade 10 to 12. I have a business mentor. I remember in high school, I'm going to stay connected with that person. They can have a business mentor in law, in medicine. Many doctors and lawyers are retired, and judges would love to mentor those coming up. The artist in me, my mind is always full of possibility of what can be. There's nothing called impossible. Impossible occurs to me when you don't try, and definitely as a collective unit, as a society, impossible occurs to us when we give up on hope, when we throw in the towel and we believe it doesn't matter, then what we call impossible definitely manifests. It definitely becomes possible. The impossible becomes possible. So it is very possible for what you're saying is impossible to occur. Why? As a result of not doing anything, as a result of throwing in the towel. That impossible environment does become real. It stays impossible. So I strongly suggest that you get that you get plugged into what's happening municipally. As well, as I said, they propose to change boundaries. For many of you that might not be aware, I'm just going to show this to you quickly, and I'm going to wrap up. There is a 2020 federal election. They've proposed to get rid of Scarborough Agincourt. Yes, they have proposed to get rid of Scarborough Agincourt. It is live. It's not propaganda. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's here. And so Scarborough is going to be diminished from 6 ridings to 5 ridings. And for those that believe that this is not their problem because, oh, I'm not in Scarborough Agincourt, it doesn't matter. As long as you're in Scarborough, this is going to affect you. It's going to affect you. It's going to affect you. Because once they eliminate Scarborough Agincourt riding federally, it's going to eliminate it provincially, and it's going to eliminate it municipally, including your ward for your school. Your postal code is no longer going to be where you think your child's going to go. It's now going to expand, and it's going to be joining Don Valley North, I believe it is. Scarborough Agincourt is being proposed to be eliminated. I'm going to do a podcast on that next week. I'm going to get a guest on from one of the advocates that is against this. The group is called Scarborough Community Renewal Organization, SCRO, Scarborough Community Renewal Organization. I'm hoping to get a representative there to come and speak. By that time, I'm hoping that because the deadline is to register is Sunday, September the 25th, as you could see that, and also written submission, the deadline is September the 25th. Many people are unaware of this. Lots of things just sneaking in, and this is what happens when you don't have whistleblowers inside. When you don't send men and women of integrity to be an MP or MPP or a counselor, you're going to find out late in the game about what's happening, and they don't give you enough time. So this was just sent to me today, and the person that sent it is from SCRO, and they're like, yeah, not a lot of people know about it, and it is one of those shock, like, what? So I'm hoping to do a bonus podcast, because definitely would want to have a podcast done about this before the 25th, because the deadline is the 25th for you to attend or register. This is it's a big mess. It's a big mess. And even if, as I said, even if you don't live in Scarborough Guildwood, this is going to affect everyone who lives in all Scarborough ridings. Okay, there's a lot of things here that doesn't make sense, and at a municipal level, trustee, your new boundaries for school trustees and all that, and your school is gonna be shifting again. We just had a realignment, and Scarborough Agincourt just finally got representation, and now they're taking it away. And the reasoning behind it makes no sense, and we know by now nothing they do makes sense. So as I said, if this election is so crucial, so crucial. But yes, the federal level, they want to reduce Scarborough from 6 ridings to 5. They've put forth their plan. They have the public hearing on the 25th. Doesn't give you a lot of time to even know about it. So if you're watching this podcast, please, Get involved ASAP. As long as you live in Scarborough, as I said, doesn't matter what your writing is. Listen, this is going to affect all of Scarborough. All right. So this is the link here. If you want to know more, it's called redecoupage redistribution 2022.ca. When you click on it, um, this is what it looks like. So I'm just want to give you a visual so you'll know if you got to the right place or not. All right. So this is where it is. Okay. This is the URL here. Okay. All right. So I got to go. Thank you for listening. We got our work cut out, but please do not get exhausted. Don't throw in the towel. Please. That is what they want. They're wearing you down intentionally. And this is where you get your second win. This is where you get your second breath. And when I say win, right away, Kathleen Wynne came in my head. So we definitely don't want a second Kathleen Wynne. But right now, the way things are going, her energy and all of what she's done has stayed. And we could still see the ripple effect. And it's as if it's as if she's not here, but she's here. You know, it's like one of those feeling like optically we got rid of her, but it seems like she's still here. There's someone and something or some people that is still keeping her energy alive and what she's done. Like nobody did anything to get rid of it or reverse it. If anything, we're looking, it's progressing. The destruction of our children's academic environment and the bombarded or the bombarding of all of these ideologies is as if she didn't leave. I don't know if I'm the only one that's feeling it, but I don't know. That's all I gotta say is I don't know. So we got our work cut out for us, but it's not work that we're not able or capable to do. Okay, so don't give up hope, and that's my middle name. Okay, that's my middle name. That is part of my first name. It's all together. Opa Hope. I bring hope, and Opa has so many meaning in so different cultures. But for me, the hope is obedient. The hope is a sense of perseverance. You never give up on hope. And the hope is action oriented. And that's what Oprah signifies to me. The O is for obedience, the P is for perseverance, and the A is for action oriented. And they all are attached to hope. So Oprah Hope and the last name day.ca is my website. Oprah Hope Day .ca, opahopeday.ca. Get to know more about me. All right, I'm out. Take it easy. Stay committed to fight for your children, grandchildren, niece, nephews, God, for your godmother, godfather, or at the end of the day, you are a living man, living woman who is alive. I say living because many are walking around and it's as if they're not alive. Doesn't matter if you don't have a child or someone that is loved in the public school system, children should still always be at the heart of our society to protect them and guard them. And they are under attack. They've always been under attack. This election municipally, more so than ever, is so crucial. So please get in the game. Please support them. Please have their back. Get me in as the trustee for Ward 17 Scarborough Center, and let's stop this derailment from totally getting off the tracks. There's many trustees and there's other trustees that are campaigning that need your support so we can do a course correction. We can do a course correction. Okay, so visit my site. There's a link there for you to message me. I can also send you the other trustees that are in alignment to stopping this nonsense. I can send you their information as well. All right. So if you know people all around Scarborough, tell a friend to tell a friend about all the candidates that we need to get behind so we can do the course correction that is desperately and urgently needed. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay in action with faith and possibility. Walk in and protect your light. Your purpose will find you. Say what you mean and live like you mean what you say.